Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 223. It is Thursday morning, and I am just leaving early in the morning. Not as early as yesterday, but early. And on my way to the first casino. Yesterday, incredible day. Would love to duplicate it. It was one of those rare days. We had two of them this month. It's still October, right? Today's the 31st. It's Halloween. So one thing about today is I'd like to be home early enough to see the kids do their Halloween stuff. Usually I'm the one who stays home and hands out candy to people. So I'm sure, like 84 of you guys, 84% or 83% of you are in the United States, but in the U.S. we have Halloween on October 31st. Kids dress up and they go around the neighborhoods and people's houses that they know, and they ring the doorbell or knock on the door and they say trick or treat, and it's supposed to be you play a trick on them if they don't give you candy, but no one does that anymore. And you give the kids candy and they dress up in their costumes as whatever they want to be, an animal or a political person or whatever they want to be, an M&M, anything. And so it's a big deal, and kids enjoy it, and a lot of candy is sold at this time of year, so it's nice to see the kids do that stuff. So I'd like to be home for that. Today I believe I have 4 meetings, 3 of them in the morning and one about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I have to double check to see exactly when, but one of them will be on my way to the first casino, and then I will have about an hour and 20 minutes, or maybe like hour and 45 minutes. I'll use that time to drive to my next casino and try to pop into that casino, take a quick look around the slots, and then go back to the car and do 2 back-to-back meetings, of which I am running the meetings, and I'll have to be on video, so hopefully the seatbelt and stuff in the background won't show up on the video. I will be training people in Europe, 2 different groups of people, and then I'll have about 3 hours to gamble, and then an hour meeting, and then head home. So subject to change, we'll see. So that's what's going on right now. That's really it. Final days of the election right now, and not much movement in the polls. What it's going to come down to is which party is more motivated. It seems like it's leaning more toward Trump, but you never know. We'll see how that goes. Right now, the sun is not up yet. It looks like a cloudy day, but not positive. And on our way to the first casino, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. I just left my first casino, and I can honestly say it was dead in there. There was probably less than 20 people in this big casino, and no real plays. I played one where I lost about $7 and one where I made a couple dollars, and I ended my session ahead $12. So at least we ended ahead. And while I was in there, I saw one of our favorite AP D-gens, knows enough to get himself in trouble, and when there's nothing to play, he spends the rest of the day giving the money back that he just earned. And he's always broke, always, like to the point that when you see him and he didn't see you, you want to turn around and head the other direction so he doesn't talk to you. But talked to him for a second, told him I was in a hurry, told him I was down, and I left ahead $12. Right now, we're moving on to our second casino, and I'm just putting it in the map. And here's the situation on this. Let's see, where am I going here? The situation here is I'm going to get there 52 minutes before my next meeting, which I am leading the next 2 meetings. So I'll have 52 minutes to go in there, maybe play something, maybe not, head back to the car, set myself up for the meeting, In fact, I can get myself ready for the meeting now, and then I'll have a solid 52 minutes in the casino. After the meeting, things would have changed. The shift would have changed because they have a weird timing on their shifts, and machines would have changed because enough time would have gone by. So I'll go back in and try to hit the same casino again, see if we can double dip. And I don't know if I'll have enough time to play blackjack, but if I do, and I have chips, I'll just hold on to the chips to buy in on my second time around. So that's where we are right now. The sun is finally up, and just finished my first meeting before going into that casino. Right now it's 70 degrees outside. These strange days. One day it's 30, one day it's 70. 70 degrees outside, and it's a cloudy day, but it should be fine. It looks like maybe a chance of rain where I'm going right now, but can't be sure. So anyway, either way should be fine. Gonna move on, and I'll be back to update you. Alright folks, I'm back. I did my meetings. I did go in before the meetings and got murdered. I was down 4,500 in that first session. Did not play any slots. Blackjack session was just horrendous. Huge counts for 3 shoes. Just getting killed every time I would raise. And here we are. So right now I'm heading back in there. The meetings took extra long. They used every minute. But we're going to go back in there and see what we can do about getting some of that back, or all of it back, hopefully, and maybe even leave ahead for the day. I have a meeting in about 2.5 hours, so I've got plenty of time to try to make something happen. So I'm going to hop in here, and I'll be back hopefully with some good news or better news. Alright guys, I'm back, so I don't care who hears me at this point. Having an angry day here. Came back. I was down 4,500, got involved as much as 8,500, was down to my last 300 when I got up off the table because it was just so bad, so like minus 13 with a deck and a half to go. So I ended up getting up, walked away, walked around a little bit, and played a little bit of slots again, and I had started with a total...
I gotta get someone here that took my ticket.
Okay. Started with a total of $60 in them and built that up to $360. Sure, I'll watch it. So made 300 on those. Someone's there. There's a problem with it. Sorry, guys. Anyway, ended up ahead exactly 300 on the slots. As far as blackjack, I was down like 8,200 at my low point. I built that up a little bit. I don't even know how many chips I have in my pocket right now. A couple thousand in chips. And heading back to the car now for a meeting. And then we'll decide what to do. All right, good luck, ma'am. Anyway, I was just trying to cash out my voucher there. And the one machine that gives change has a ticket stuck in it, so I had to use the other one. But so right now, slots plus 300, blackjack most likely down like 6,500. But I only have like a half-hour meeting, so we're going to do the meeting. We're going to come back, going to try to chip away at it. If we end up having to leave down, we have to leave down. That's fine, but we're going to do the best we can. A chip in a chair, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I'm here. Just gonna set up my laptop here for this meeting. Starts, oh shoot, I've got like 15 minutes. I guess I can relax and catch up on some email and stuff. I thought I only had a couple minutes until my meeting, but man, that was a slaughter. It was unbelievable. How have I been doing just so bad on blackjack? My top bet was, I was spreading 100 to 1,000, and 90, I probably got to 1,000 twice. Counts were awful. Just the big thing of the day today was 15 and then get a 7. You get a 15 and then get a 7, over and over and over. And then even when other people came to my table and they got a 15, they got a 7 with it. It seemed like every time. Obviously not, but that's what it seemed like. And then I probably got a 16 against a 10 25 times. And I think I won 2 times. The dealer said, I thought it was 1, but the dealer said 2 times. So I ended up walking around, and I went to a lower limit table, and sat down there and played for a while, made 500 back, went to another low limit table, sat around, and I was doing so good on those low limit tables, and the counts were good, and the big bets were doing okay, and all that kind of stuff, but the high limit table was just awful. I don't know what the deal was today, and I don't know what's been going on with blackjack with me lately, but it's just horrible to make all that money yesterday and to give so much back today. Just does not feel good at all. It doesn't feel fair, you know what I mean? I know it doesn't matter, fair or no fair, but it's just so frustrating when that happens. And the dealers are like, wow, I've never seen someone lose that much. I'm like, really? You think that makes me feel better? You know, it's like, or lose that many hands in a row or something like that. And I'm like, you guys have no clue what you're talking about. I don't want to go into all that again. I've been over that enough times. But it's like the most improbable things happening over and over and over. So what are you going to do? Right now, I'm taking care of my emails, getting caught up on stuff. I have 10 minutes till my meeting. I'll figure out what the meeting's about and get myself calmed down a little bit. And then I'll go back in there, see if we can chip away at it, see if we can get a few thousand more back. And we'll take it one step at a time. Hopefully everything's all right in the long term. But it's starting to get busy. It's, what's today? I thought it was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Feels like a Friday. So many people here. But, yeah, the slots were okay. I had a couple small limit machines hit nicely. Like, I go by the increment of the bet. So 100 times the bet or whatever is really good. Anyway, I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I can't say I'm happy, but I made some headway. Just very frustrating. I ended up playing $25 table, $50 table, $100 table, and up and down, all over the place. And really, I didn't start making headway until I had to leave. And the reason I had to leave is Halloween. I've got to be home. My wife can't be in 2 places at once, so I'm going to drive like 3.5 hours one way so I can be there for Halloween for like an hour. It's just crazy to me, but you got to support the kids. So I ended up, so let's start from the beginning. I buy in for 500. I lose that, buy in for 500 more, and I play around with that for a long time. Then eventually I lose that, and I have a high count, buy in for 1,000 and another 1,000, and then I have a guy come to my table, and this guy is playing 2 hands, and he's playing like $165 each of the 2 hands with the side bet, and the side bet he's betting like 35. So when it's time to pay it, it's an odd number. The dealer has to take off her shoes to count to see, you know, how much it is to pay the guy. So just a big pain in the butt. And then finally I got a huge count, and he's there. He's like, well, I said, I'm in a hurry. I got to hurry up and win this money back. He's like, well, do you want me to sit out for a minute? I'm like, yeah, you don't mind? Yeah, please. Because I had this huge count, like 5 or 6 true count. I put max bets out there and just get destroyed. And luckily I was only playing 1 hand, but I was just getting killed. And by the time he came back, I was down 3,000 or 4,000 more. And then I ended up leaving that table and switching to another table, and I'm talking about the guy, and he's right behind me, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the guy. And I didn't mean to talk about him, but so that table, so when I left, I was down 4,500. I go to the car, I do 2 meetings, I run both meetings, everything is good, I'm all done. I finish that up, and go back inside again. I go back in, and just right away the beating begins, and it is so bad. It's like I said earlier, when the dealer tells you, man, I've never seen, such a bad run, where I won 3 hands in the second shoe when I came back. It's like, how do you deal with that mentally and say, oh, it's just variance? It's like, variance, yeah, but it's like, if you're flipping a coin, right, and heads or tails, and the odds of getting heads 10 times in a row, is whatever, what would that be, 1,024 to 1, right? 256, 1,024 to 1. And then, but you get 20 or 25 or 27 in a row. You're like, come on, this is impossible, right? It's the same thing. It's like such an improbability. Some of the things that were going on, and I'm lucky that the counts weren't that high. Some of the things that were going on, at some points, I was like 3 standard deviations or more. It's like, this is just almost impossible. But like I said, well, the dealer didn't get a lot of blackjacks, but when they did, they got 3 or 4 in a row, or 3 out of 5, or 4 out of 6, and that was just disgusting. And of course, when's that going to happen? When are they going to get blackjacks? With a high count. So high true count, you have a bigger bet out there, and then they're getting blackjacks and killing you all the time. The 15s, and you hit it, and I get a 7 over and over, and dozens of 16s against the 10, and I do the right thing 100% of the time. I did the right thing, and I think I got, according to the dealer, 2 winning hands out of that. Later on, when I finished the meeting, I came back in. Things went a little bit better. I went to a $25 table, played on that one. I won, I want to say 600 on that one. Went to another $25 table and won 700. Went to a $50 table and won like 11 or 1200. And it's just a little here, a little there. But things were going so well on those low limit tables and just crushing on the high limit tables. And if you recall me talking about the one casino where I was like so upset and it seemed so improbable to the point that I was borderline saying these guys are cheating, it was the same deal. The high limit was just crushing, and the low limit I was doing well. So I don't know. No rhyme or reason. That's just the way that it happened. And it's like someone punches you in the gut. I actually got a stomach ache at one point. I ended up having to take a break because it was so disgusting. It's like you want to spit. It's so bad. You know what I mean? So anyway, I ended up cashing out. I bought it for a total of $8,500, and I cashed out $6,200. So I was down $2,300 when I left, but still, the way things were going when I left, it felt like I was going to get it all back, but there's absolutely zero time. There were a couple more stops that I wanted to make. Those are canceled. I got to go straight home, and as of right now, I still got to make up 9 minutes, and I don't think I've eaten anything today, so I got to make up 9 minutes and get some food. I have some work to do. I can get that done in the car while I'm driving. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's very easy for me to work while I'm driving now. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but just trying to think back. I played one table that was a hit 17, which I don't like, obviously, when you can get a stay 17, but it was a lower limit table, and it was a new dealer, and he didn't know how to deal. He was a poker dealer that just got moved to blackjack, and he had someone, what do you call it, shadowing him or whatever, and he didn't know how to flip the card over or which card to flip over. And I'm like, and she wasn't giving him any good advice. So I'm like, if you don't mind, can I just give you some advice and don't be offended? And I told him how to do a couple things. And he's like, oh man, yeah, that's a lot easier. I'm like, why is your shadow not telling you how to do these things? It's like so easy. He was flipping the card the wrong way. So the dealer deals the first down card to themselves, right? To the first card to themselves, which is going to become the up card. Then they deal the second card to themselves. Then they flip over the first card. Well, he was flipping it over if you're if you're the dealer, he was flipping it over to the right instead of to the left. Well, to the right, he kept on getting it caught on the other card. So I said, you could move it to the left. He was getting it caught on the other card. So I said, if you could move it to the right and flip it left, it would be easier for you. And it was a lot easier for him. And a couple other little things. And I'm like, I don't know why I got to tell you these things, but he was making the same mistakes over and over again. But I had good variance there. And then being down as much as I was, I couldn't really play all the negative counts all the time. So when it got severely negative, I moved on to another table. I went to slots. Slots, originally I was up like $80 when I started my blackjack play, and then I was up $300 by the time I went to the car, and then came back, didn't play any more slots, but just a bunch of nickel and diming them to get a bunch of money back. And it just, I don't know, just why is blackjack so bad right now and for so long? Man, I see people on online, and they're talking about, on this huge streak, and I've been on a huge streak, but it's just that downturn, man, it just punches you in the gut. Anyway, enough saying the same thing over and over again. I'm going to continue on a little bit here, and then I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I'm back. So I think I figured out the noise with my car is the tire. So when I rotated the tires, the noise moved to the other side, so it's definitely the tires. So it'll wear down and it'll equal out a little bit, so that should be okay. I was thinking back to a lot of my play, and just thinking, the dealer wasn't getting, a few times, but for the most part, the dealer wasn't getting these 5 and 6 card hands. They were getting like flip it and it's over, or draw one card. I'd have a 17 against a 9, and they'd have an 18 or a 19. I'd have it whatever, and they'd just flip it over, and they had it. A 9 against a 9, they had an ace. So many times I had ace 3 and got 10-10. It's like the odds of that happening. Or ace 3 and get an 8-10. It's like, come on, it's like one over. You have 2 shots at it, and you get the worst possible card twice in a row. 13-1 on one, and 1-3 on the other. 40-1, and it happened repeatedly. It's just one of those days, man. And I know you're supposed to go with the count and all that, but some of these days it's like endless like that. And other days you can't do anything wrong. But I know we're supposed to do it long term, but it's just a killer. And there was one hand where there was 3 of us at the table, and the first guy had the dealer had a 10. No, the dealer had a 9, and the first guy had a 6-4. He doubled and got a 10. The second guy had 2 face cards, so they both have a 20. I have a 20, and dealer flips over a 6 and a 6, and it's like, who sees that coming? And a couple times it was like 9-3-9. And it's like those are the hands that hurt the most, because you think you got it, you got a 20 against a 9. You flip over a 3, you're like, oh, I'm in good shape. A 5, a 6, a 7, an 8. I'm okay. A 10, a jack, a queen, a king, an ace, a deuce, a 3. I'm good on all those, but it has to be just the right card repeatedly. But if we could figure this stuff out, man. There was one table I was so frustrated. I'm like, I had a couple thousand at that time. I said, I should just go right up to it. Not go up to it. I was playing, and it had a big count. Count was like true 5 or so, and I'm like, I should just pound this thing 2 hands in a row, just go max bet. And I won them both, but I wasn't, by max bet, I mean all in. 2,000 into 4, 4,000 into 8, but I didn't have the guts to do it, but that's okay. I don't have an unlimited bankroll like some people do. Anyway, I just ordered some food because I've got to eat. And Burger King, terrible, no deals. McDonald's, terrible, no deals. Wendy's, terrible, no deals. I always fall back on Chipotle, man. I'm getting it for like $8.75. I get double rice, double beans. I get chicken. I get green chili, sour cream, cheese, anything you want. And I do double everything except for the protein because that's extra. And I end up with a bowl so big it barely fits in the bowl. And then you can eat it for 2 meals if you wanted to. But anyway, right now, still cloudy, 77 degrees, and continuing on. Going to stop and get my food. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So here is the rundown for what happened today. First casino, slots plus 12. Second casino, slots plus 300. Blackjack minus 2,300, spreading from $25 up to $1,000. The low for the session was minus 8,300. The high for the session was $0, and we left minus $2,300. And we are heading home. We are going to have a good night with the family. We're going to forget about today. We're going to be back out tomorrow. I'm taking a different area tomorrow than I'm usually at, and we'll have a good day tomorrow, wrap up the week in a good way. Unfortunately, this was a bad way to end the month, but you do what you can do, and we'll see what happens from here. So, what did you eat today, MW? I actually had the Chipotle. It was really good. It was actually a lot of food. I did end up finishing the bowl finally, but that was a lot of food. I would give that a 10 on a scale of 2 through ace. And what did you tip today, MW? Are you kidding me? How can you ask me that? No, I didn't. I tipped nothing. There was no way I was going to tip anything. I got zero sympathy from anybody, and I got zero help from anybody, and I had zero good variance from anywhere, so I'm not tipping anybody. So, yeah, that's it. We're going to head home, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, the email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.